Hey guys, welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel today. We are going to go over, and I'm going to tell you guys what is the easiest, most consistent way to catch a limit bass every time you go out on the water. I don't care, guys, if it's January, May, October, or August. I'm going to show you the technique and talk about it, show you how to set it up. That it's the most consistent way to catch fish that there is, period. Not only lots of fish, but it catches quality fish. So we're going to go over that today's video. I think it's really going to help you guys out. Guys, before we get started, 2 quick housekeeping tips I want to remind you of. The Solar Bat has still got their sale going on, 30% off on my Solar Bat RB2 and RB3 series glasses. These are the RB2 frames, 30% off right now. I'll put the Solar Bat link in the description of the video, or you can get them through my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video. And also, guys, in preparation for spring, we do have my spring Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns up on the fishthemoment.com website. These are maps I have built for Fish the Moment that gives you 40 GPS waypoints that you can download to your GPS unit. Tips and advice on how to fish each spot where you can duplicate it around the lake. Great resource to learn more about your favorite lake or lake you're getting ready to go to. So I'll have the Fish the Moment lake map breakdown of my Randy's breakdowns in the description of this video. So appreciate that. Okay, certain lure categories that, one of the things about bass fishing and lures, like there's so much out there. It's like, it is overwhelming. It's like, how do you even know where to begin? It's like you've got slow baits, you got fast baits, you got crank baits, jerk baits, worms, jigs, swim baits. I mean, just an unlimited amount of lures. Obviously, you can't use everything. You got to begin somewhere. So one of the things that I've always talked about is how complex and difficult bass fishing is, and the tackle end of it is one side of it. So I like to sort of simplify things for everybody here in my videos based upon times of the year and what you're trying to accomplish. Now, if you're wanting to go out and just catch bass every single trip that you go out, as far as being consistent and not having those bad days, before I get into the bait, what I'm going to talk about, let me explain a little bit about bass mood and personality that determines consistency with the lure. Okay, there's 2 basic lure categories in bass fishing. You have your moving baits or your reaction baits, the ones, like jerk baits and crank baits and swim baits that go horizontal through the water column at different depths. And then you have your bottom lures, something like a jig or plastic worm that's on the bottom. Now, what you're going to find throughout this, as far as the mood and the personality of a bass in relationship to moving baits or baits that are on the bottom, is that generally when the bass are a little bit more active, they will go after those moving baits. Or you can call them reaction baits because they're moving through the water and bass react to the movement of that lure. Whether it be a surface lure on the top of the water, or something mid-range, or even a crankbait going along the bottom, but it's moving through the water column. So the bass has to be in a chasing mode, and that chasing mode, and what determines the bass being in a chasing mode, there's a lot of different factors to that. It can be weather patterns, it can be water temperature, it can be water clarity, it can be the sunlight conditions, and it can be fishing pressure. All those things factor into it. But the reality of the situation remains that your moving lures, any type of a reaction or moving lure, is going to be the most inconsistent lure day in and day out. So when you want to catch bass every day and you want to go out and catch a limit of fish every day, your odds of doing that consistently with any moving bait is not as good as a slow bait on the bottom. Because a slow bait on the bottom, it's like it does not require the effort for a fish to hit it in terms of being in the right mood and personality. It's like bass, if they're going to chase a moving lure, like a spinnerbait or crankbait, if they're setting on a target, like if they're next to a dock or they're next to a stump, or even if they're on the bottom on a rock, they have to leave the safety of that area and chase that thing. But if they're on the bottom, and when a jig or something comes past them like that, all they have to do is swim over a few feet and just suck it in, and they go right back to their rock or wherever they're hiding at. So in that terms, it's like baits that move on the bottom are more consistent day in and day out, regardless of the weather pattern, regardless of the fishing pressure, regardless of the sunlight intensity, regardless of anything. Your bottom bouncing lures are going to be your most consistent fish producers. Okay, now within that genre of slow moving bottom baits, the one that stands out more than anything else I want to talk about today as the most consistent is a shaky headed soft plastic stick bait if you rig it up right. And there's some critical elements to this component. Number one, if you want to catch them all the time, rig this thing up exactly like I'm going to show you. And you got to rig everything exactly like this is. You got to start out with a light head. This is a 1/16 of an ounce Gamakatsu tricky head. I'll put this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description if you guys would like to get one there. If they're sold out or something, just find something else with a 1/16 of an ounce head. The 1/16 of an ounce head is the most critical component to this working right here because of the fall. And the next thing you do with it is you got to take a soft plastic stick bait. This is a 6-inch Zoom Zlinky, and you want to bite it off or take a pair of scissors and cut it off at the egg sac like that, just like that. And the boys took my scissors, but what you want to do is see the end of it. When you pinch it off or cut it off, it's going to be flat. Normally I'll take a pair of scissors, but you want to come in and take off that edge to sort of make it not where it's completely flat. You want to make it where it's just a little bit more of it comes to a point there. Sorry guys, my video got cut off there. I had my storage full on my phone. I don't know if anybody out there know anything about iPhones, because it says that I've got my storage, plenty of storage left on my iPhone, but then my videos will cut off halfway in it. It says my storage is full. So I don't know I hate technology. I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, what I was saying, we got our end here, sort of like it's been come to a point a little bit. Take it and rough it up a little bit. This is really critical. You want to break that salt up on them. If you're using a bait like a Cinco or something, really loaded with salt, it's going to have to go a little softer so you don't tear it. Get it all, loose and everything. Take your tricky head, come through probably about 1/4 of an inch. And this tricky head's got a really nice 10 keeper, so make sure that 10 keeper's in there good. Put it in like that. And so this bait, it's going to be about 4 inches long like this. You're going to come all the way through it. My glasses there. And make sure the hook's pointing out like that. See that hook's pointing out the end? Extremely weedless like this. I mean, if you're fishing really brush, you might have to tuck it back in there, but this is how I fish it most of the time. So you've got this little 4-inch soft plastic stick bait on a shaky head. Guys, this is going to be your #1 most consistent limit getter of any lure that you can throw in bass fishing, period. The only thing that you have to do with this thing is you have to adjust the color of it to your water clarity. Most of the time, I'm going to use some type of a green pumpkin or watermelon. If the water's off colored, I may go to a black or a June bug or something like that. But guys, this little 1/16 of an ounce tricky head on here with the fatter profile, and a lot of people say, well, that's just a Ned rig, Randy. No, it's not a Ned rig. It's got a completely different look in the water, and the tricky head makes it look different than a Ned head. This is the element that you have to have here with the 1/16 of an ounce, 4-inch soft plastic stick bait. It's got this nice slow glide to it like that. When it hits the bottom, you pull it up, it's nice and slow. This is freaking deadly right here, guys. I'll fish it on 6 to 8 pound test, Seaguar Visix fluorocarbon, my Mega Bass spinning rod, and just throw it anywhere where you think there's a bass. I don't care if it's 30 foot deep on a point. I don't care if it's skipping up underneath a boat dock. I don't care if it's on a rocky bank. It doesn't matter if it's on a bluff, anything like that. But guys, this is freaking deadly right here. I mean, I can get bit on this thing anywhere that I go in the country. I don't care if the water visibility is 6 inches, I'll put a black one on and catch them on it. And if it's 30 foot visibility, I'll still catch them on it. 40-degree water, 100-degree water, it doesn't matter. They will bite this thing. And this is the most consistent way to catch a limit by far. Now, one of the things when you're working this bait, it's really critical, is it's called a shaky head for a reason. And what I like to do is I'll throw it out there, let it hit the bottom. And when it hits the bottom, I'm just gonna shake it like that. I'm gonna vibrate my rod tip like maybe 10 times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm gonna pull it like that, straight up. I'm not gonna hop it off the bottom. I'm gonna shake it like that, and then I'm gonna pull it. So it's dragging across the bottom. So what it sort of looks like is when it's on the bottom, you're shaking it on a loose line. So this thing is just vibrating just like that in one spot. And then you're pulling it maybe another foot and letting it stay there. And then you're shaking it just like that in one spot. And then you're pulling it. And they hit it anywhere along the retrieve. I mean, sometimes they'll hit it, when you're shaking it like that, you'll just feel your line lift up or see your line move out. And other times when you pull it back like that, you know, you'll feel them suck it in and moving out with it. But guys, that is freaking deadly. And then setting the hook on it, nice easy hook set. You don't want to set the hook hard. You're shaking it like this, boom, you get a bite, reel down to it, make sure your line's tight, and just pull back in and start reeling at the same time. You don't want to set the hook, just pull back in like that while you're reeling. Keep that pressure on the fish. It keeps driving that hook point home. But anyway, guys, if you want to catch them 12 months out of the year, get this rig here, get you some of those, whether it be a Cinco or Zoom Zlinky like this, cut them off above the egg sac, 1/16 of an ounce Gamakatsu tricky head on it. Definitely get you a bunch of bites, get you good lemon fish. So hope it helps out. We'll talk later.